Thoughts of the Roundtable with Matt Rebar.
And Paul Laux.
And it's been a minute.
We're kind of getting sporadic lately, but that's just the summer. We'll get better with that.
To be consistent in this economy, that's the name of the episode, I think, already.
I had a group text with a couple of my buddies, and last night at 11:30, someone started talking about the economy, and it went to 1 in the morning.
Wow.
My wife was not happy.
Your wife was like, please turn off that bright blue light and let me sleep.
But anyways, we are back. I know it's been a while. It's better than nothing, I guess, right?
Well, what happens is, we used to have a consistent day, and then this summer, half the time that we would record on that day, things happened.
It's life.
It's just...
I do have a feeling I feel like it's easier to record in winter for some reason. Because there's nothing... What else are you going to do? There's nothing else to do. In Ohio?
Well,
what else is there
there's things to do. It's just do you want to go out in the winter and do them?
That's true.
It's just you don't even want to drive down the street,
It's would you rather, go out and freeze your ass off or record a podcast inside?
It's would you rather be consistent during the summer or consistent during the winter? And it's winter.
I know
I
something we've talked about too, which I think we can tease a little bit, is guests. We're trying to figure out what we wanted. There's a new angle I think that we want to take with this. But
we've been talking some ideas. It's just the last 2 months, this podcast has been more of a fiesta than when actually people in Spain take a fiesta.
You mean a siesta?
A siesta, thank you.
A fiesta is a party.
Well, the party's been on a break.
I only know that because of Walmart's Fiesta blend cheese.
If we were a party, we'd literally be the part of the party. This summer, we'd be the part of the party where the cops came and everyone's quiet and just standing.
Right.
Don't move. The cops are here.
Which, by the way, I do have some people who've agreed to come on the show.
Oh my gosh.
So really it's just about scheduling dates.
And I think we've been talking about doing a live venue experience just for funsies.
Yeah, that's been on the bucket list.
We talked about that.
But that's probably harder to set up than we think.
I think it's just kind of going to places that hey, Mondays at 4 p.m. That'd be great.
What do you think?
On into the bar.
What do you think? Starbucks or something? Do we just showed up with this stuff? How quick do you think we'd get kicked out?
I feel Starbucks. The first 5 minutes would be what are they doing? And then we'd.
You have a MacBook, so no one would really say anything.
It's the microphone.
And you also have a man bun.
I do. I look the part. I'm actually a huge Starbucks reward member. I get a lot of stuff.
I don't like Starbucks all that much.
Well, not the coffee. I like the lattes and the teas.
No, okay. You're like my wife then.
Yes. Me and Katie get some tea later.
All right. So I heard you did have some news. You said just before we went on.
Yeah. So since we haven't talked about this on the podcast, and I think you'd love to talk about it, I bought a new car.
Now, I know this is kind of a mundane topic, but for us, nothing is ever mundane. And I'm going to say this because when you first started coming over to record these podcasts, one of the first things I noticed about your first car is it had no front bumper.
Yeah, it was missing a bumper. The windshield fluid was cracked. There was some dents. The back window was out. The left mirror was broken.
It leaked oil on my driveway.
The transmission was leaky. But here's what did it. You want to know what? Oh, there was no AC, there was no heat, there was no radio. No speakers.
What did it?
So, I work downtown and that I meter with quarters, right? So we go, so I park the car.
At least no one's going to smash and grab that car.
8 to 10, wait, hold on now. From 8 to 10, you put some quarters in. So you put $2 worth of quarters, 8 to 10, and then I'm usually out by 10. So it's great.
That's the worst thing ever.
I accidentally left a roll of quarters, visible. Among all my recycling and clothes, someone smashed my the passenger window.
For a roll of quarters?
And here's where it gets worse. And the case. I had a great little case for my quarters. It was a cute little metal case.
Like a clutch? You had a little clutch?
Like a clutch bag for quarters. Yeah, they took that. And here's the best part.
Why would they break a window for quarters?
Because they wanted money. It's money, dude.
It's $10 max.
Yeah, but... Shoot, man, people are desperate.
Well, the police don't actually do anything about those.
I called the police. Here's the best part. The police called. They're like, oh, what do you do for work? And it turns out they're like, oh, I, love what you do for work or whatever. And
now, were you mostly mad about, obviously you're not, I'm assuming you're not too bummed about the quarters.
I gave them 3 rolls of quarters to not break my window.
I was going to say, it's the window. It's God damn it, now I got to, pay for this window.
You know, they'd write up the report, and apparently, here's the best, Paul. They're like, well, there's been a string of car robberies. And I'm like, that's why we need cameras downtown. Like, we need, like, hello.
It's surprisingly barren camera-wise in downtown Cleveland. There's
really
nothing.
is.
There's nothing.
And, like, I don't know. I don't want to advocate for Big Brother, but, like, it'd be nice to have, like, okay, major intersections. Or
I don't, Big Brother. Come on. Who cares if we have cameras pointing towards the clubs? All that's going to do is help people.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
So, anyway, that's why I had to get a new car. But to be fair, you know, with like I didn't have heat last winter, and remember those negative 30 days that we had here in Cleveland?
You drove around like that?
Oh, it was terrible. Paul, like one hand's on the wheel, one hand is like chunking ice off the windshield, making sure I didn't die.
Why didn't you chunk the ice off first?
Because it kept refreezing, because it was negative 30 degrees. like literally, it was like...
Oh, and you didn't have windshield heat, right?
Dude, I carry underwooded a few times. And for those who don't know...
Jesus take the wheel?
Yeah, I call that a carry underwooded, is when Jesus take the wheel, because holy crap.
No, wait a minute. You didn't even have windshield heat?
I had no heat.
Oh my god, that is the most dangerous thing I've ever heard in my life.
The car was... Oh, are you ready for this? You're going to love this.
We should have signed up for Uber with that and see what they would have done.
Uber would have been like, you can Uber yourself back home.
It's like that car. It's like they buy you a car. It's like, we are worried about you. Like, please, just take this.
It's Michelle from Uber. We're kind of worried that your car is like going to kill you. So you're going to love this story. So when I bought the car, it didn't have any of those problems, right? You know,
the car you old
my old car.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Broken.
Did it have a bumper when you bought it?
Yeah, what happened? It was like a rust thing. It like unrusted the nails.
Unrusted the nails.
The nails were unrusted.
So technical.
So I bought it for $3,000.
What year was it?
2009.
Now we're going to like Auto Trader.
I know, you're like, well, here we are. So I was looking at new cars, and I get to the Mitsubishi place, and they were having a deal like that week, and they were like, you bring in any car, and we'll put $4,000 off a brand new car.
Really?
Yeah. So I rolled in with my...
You're really testing
no window, no AC, no heat, no, like, bumpers falling off. No window. I mean...
You're really testing the fine print with this
Literally, I walked in with metal on wheels. Like, you know what I mean? Got $4,000 off a brand new car.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It knocked it from 16
So what'd you end up
12.
paying?
Well, the car is 16, but it knocked it down to 12. Then I put like, you know, obviously tax added up, and then I put like a nice chunk down, and I've put on like 2 payments already, and I've like put on like big 2 payments. You know, I'm trying to like knock it down.
What car is it?
Mitsubishi Mirage.
Nice.
And it's small. It's perfect for all that.
Let me look at the window. Is it parked in my driveway?
Oh yeah, go look at it. Oh no, it's on the street.
Oh, it's on the street. I'll look at it later.
But the only thing is, I love recycling. We don't recycle at work, so I keep all my recycling in the car, and I need to stop. Like, I need to get a better habit of doing that.
And just trashing your car?
Yeah, it's 4,000 miles deep, and it's like trashed. But no, it's great, and the mileage is great. 7 gallons. It holds 7 gallons.
That's a small-ass tank.
But 300 miles on 7 gallons.
Damn, I've never heard of a 7-gallon tank.
Yeah, dude, when I filled it up
man?
and it like clicked off at 7, I was like, is this malfunctioning? And then I start the car and it's like full tank. I'm like, what?
That is a tiny
I could go to Columbus and maybe back on a full tank.
Maybe back. Do you mind on test?
I don't know. How many miles is it?
To Columbus? I just know it's by
like 100.
100 some?
Yeah. Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. On one tank for my car. So no, I like it a lot. It's nice to actually have, because before getting this brand new car, I had 3 used, and I rode them all into the ash. And so it's nice that this car should probably.
Did they say anything at all when you rolled up with the
The one guy, the salesman was like, yeah, you are taking advantage of a good deal, and like kudos, because I bought that car for $3,000. I made I made $1,000 back. If you think about it. And there was no way, like, I wouldn't even get $4 for that car. No. Let alone $4,000.
That's one hell of a deal. $4,000?
I know. I felt so #adult. Oh, sweetie, Colby.
But I'm actually looking at getting a new car too.
Oh, really?
Looking at an SUV.
Oh.
I've always wanted. They're
all responsible with your SUV.
They're pricey. You know what the funny thing is the reason we want to get an SUV, not for, extended family or anything, literally because I'm sick of borrowing people's SUVs and trucks to take stuff home from the Home Depot.
That makes sense, too.
It sucks, man. And little tiny cars.
Yeah. See, my car is tiny. You can't really do too much with that.
Yeah.
No
is it a 2-door, 4-door?
It's a 4-door. It's a hatchback trunk.
I like hatchbacks.
I do, too. All right, Paul. So tell us not the news with Paul.
All right. Now, this is kind of freaking me out. Have you been to Florida recently?
No, can't say I have.
Are you going to Florida anytime soon?
If it's still there in the next 5 years, maybe.
In the next 5 years. Okay. Not recently. That's good because apparently, I don't know if you've seen this going around, they're having these weird rashes of flesh-eating bacteria.
You know what?
Down there?
Scratch that. Maybe I'm not going to Florida in the next 5 years.
Literally, people are just like not even going in the water. They're just walking on the beach, and there's some. You remember last summer? There was that red algae bloom. Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it killed a lot.
Toledo couldn't drink in Toledo, right?
That's a different algae bloom.
Oh Lord, there's so many algae blooms.
Yeah, up here is the green algae bloom.
Oh my god.
Still going on, by the way.
Yeah.
But down there they had the red algae bloom, so much that you could like see it from space, and it was killing all the marine life and everything. It eventually went away, but apparently I don't know if something. Plus, it's also just still Florida. People are getting like this weird ass flesh eating bacteria that literally you wake up and your leg's just gone. Like I have to cut it off basically. Like people are like they go into the doctor. You're like, I got this rash on my leg. They put you under, you wake up and your leg's gone. Like
how do you even get it? Like
I don't know, just through a cut, through a scratch,
Doesn't that scare you? It really. I mean, it's kind of a scary movie, but like you're living it.
I mean, it.
Like, how do you live a normal life? Because at any point in Florida, there's a freaking flesh eating.
No, that's why you don't live in Florida.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
You just build the wall around that.
I'm not gonna lie. This is definitely the Earth getting back at us for all that we've done.
What do we have? Like 12 years left or something like that?
We don't have too long. Do you see the pictures of Greenland? They released pictures of Greenland, and it's like there's no ice in Greenland.
Well. I mean, is that Greenland's not as glaciery as everyone thought?
Greenland is the glacier. Iceland is the one.
But I thought Greenland wasn't that glaciery either.
No, Greenland's a big old block of ice.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah, now it's a chain of islands.
Now they're like microwaving.
Form the outline.
And now the Amazon's burning too.
I know. And here's the thing: how did the Amazon burn for 2 weeks? And like, most of us were unaware.
Well, a lot of it was deforestation from Brazil.
And that. But then also they're refusing any foreign aid. They're like, no, we don't want.
Well, they did that on purpose. I mean, the burnings for the logging companies and the oil companies. Brazilian's president was all into that.
I don't know. This is ridiculous.
That's why it finally has been put out.
Quote unquote.
I know, but
see, and this is what's funny is when people are like, you know, if we don't take care of the Earth won't be here. No, bitch, we won't be here. The Earth ain't going nowhere.
That's why I'm worried about like having kids and stuff. It's like, what in God's name are they gonna have? By the way, it was last week, and this is the shit that scares me, seriously. Because apparently there was a meteor the size of like
that just missed us. Yes.
That like basically gave us a buzz cut that we had no freaking idea was coming. They're just like, whoops, missed that one. Like,
is that not or is that not? Like, what? Tell me. Like, that's the Earth being like, see what I can do. See what I can do to you.
Well, there's also
because the Earth be fine.
There's
Earth
also
be okay.
There's an asteroid. It's about 10 years away from us, and it's the size of the Empire State Building.
Oh Lord!
And it's gonna get real close to us, like even closer than that one was. And their scientists were like, "Yeah, we'll probably be okay." I'm like, I don't like probably, which brings me to this question because. This is something I brought up to my friends the other week. We had this really cool discussion about it. So say this asteroid, it was going to destroy the Earth and everything. I don't want to go into these weird scientific theories about what we can do or anything.
Well, just shoot missiles into the sky and blow it up before it even gets anywhere near us, right? Wouldn't that be the tactic?
Nuke it.
Well,
this sounds like
that sounds like nuke the hurricane, which is stupid. But like
you can nuke an asteroid, maybe.
Like send up missiles to like launch. Like maybe it takes a few years for them to get to where the asteroid is now.
But this isn't my scenario. Okay? In this scenario, we can't do any of that. All right,
okay.
That's just suspended reality. That's not possible. None of that. And in 10 years, this asteroid will hit the Earth and will blow up the Earth. Okay, we cannot stop it.
Okay,
what do you think happens tomorrow?
If we were to find out this information,
we're to find this out.
Oh, bedlam.
You think so?
Absolutely, because. Especially, I think right now we're going through a huge period. This is the sociologist in me. It's like sociology with Matt time.
Do you think?
I think we're in a huge period of like individuality, and like the individual is more important than like the common good, and like this stress on me.
Yeah.
And I think something like that, this idea of like, okay, in 10 years we're all gonna die, so live up while you can, me, I think, like, it'd be a laissez-faire situation. Absolutely. It'd be bedlam. It'd be the purge. Except for 10 years.
It would be that. It's 10 years, though.
Yeah, because if people... Here's the thing. What kind of keeps us...
It would be bedlam immediately,
well, yeah, because what keeps us motivated?
Money,
or the... Well, I guess what keeps us in line? It's this idea we want to live for a long time, most of us.
Yeah.
You know, we all like, okay, we want to live. We want life. We want to be comfortable. We want to be successful. Well... Truth is, we're all going to die in 10 years, so the comfort's kind of thrown out the window. Who cares about success when we all know we're going to die in 10 years? At that point, it's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to murder so-and-so? Do you want to do these terrible things to people? Do you want to, you know...
What would you do?
I think I would go write.
You'd go write what?
Just, I love writing. And I think, you know, with my career being so, you know, I work in very... you know, aggressive industries, and that's not a, you know, the hashtag spoiler alert or anything. That's, you know, just what it is. And there's a lot of things I want to do that I just kind of can't do. Like, I'd love to go on, like, a mission trip to Japan for a few months and teach English. But, like, I work in the wrong industry. I can't, like, if I were to leave the industry I'm in, it'd be so hard to get back into that. So, you know, there's just, there's certain pleasures and certain...
So you would just sit back and write.
I would probably go to the middle of
the forest. But no one's going to read that.
Yeah, but it's for me. It's for me.
I don't know what I would do, honestly. If I found that out,
I'd go into solitude. Absolutely.
You remember? Have you ever seen that movie? I think it's seriously underrated. Finding a Friend for the End of the World.
No,
Steve Carell.
I don't know that movie.
It's basically this premise that an asteroid's going to destroy Earth, and it's kind of like a romantic / sad comedy.
Yeah.
And it's with Steve Carell, which is an odd casting for this movie, but it's 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Instead of 10 years, it's 2 weeks.
See, 2 weeks. Immediate bedlam. Absolutely.
With that, yes. If it was 2 weeks, I'd be like, oh, okay, everything.
10 years, they might be able to hold on.
I don't think, to be totally fair and frank, I don't think much would change in the first year or two. I think governments would try to keep things under control for the most part.
Well, if we're going by a situation where there's nothing we can do, then I think it'd be absolute bedlam. But I think maybe if there's like this situation where like, well, maybe we can do something, then yeah, they're going to try, because they're going to devote all their time and energy to doing something.
You have to realize there's going to be factions of people too. There's going to be factions of people who just think this isn't true.
True.
And be like, it's not happening.
Or it's like a religious
Right. There's going to be the religious people who think, well, they might actually be in the first group that this is not true because technically religious people think...
No, it'll be, I think a lot of it will be like, you know, this is God telling him that like, we as a human, like that humans are terrible. Like I got him in some more situation.
There will be those people who blame themselves as a society, like those kind of people who think like it was our fault this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then there's going to go people who be like, F this, we're going to fight it even though we know it's not possible. Like,
and then there'd be a group like me, it's like, well, you know, there's been things I've been wanting to do for years that I'm going to do. Or I think
that group's going to be small.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think you would do that.
What did you think I would do?
Panic.
I mean, yeah. Who's not going to panic? Everyone's going to panic.
Yeah, but I don't know if you would... Do you really think you would do that, though? Just hide in the woods and write?
I think so.
Or would you be crapping your pants for the next 10 years?
Of course. Who wouldn't be crapping their pants? It's like everyone knows now you have a death date. Everyone has a death date.
I'm trying to think about what I would do, and I don't know. I honestly don't.
You'd probably take Katie somewhere safe because it's going to be bedlam.
But safe where? Where are you going to be safe?
I don't know. In the middle of Parma Heights? I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know.
It's all like
Let's do this. Let's do this. This will be fun.
This is interesting.
We'll have some homework to do. Okay. Ask a couple of your friends that what they would do.
Okay, we're gonna do a study.
I'll ask a couple of mine.
Okay.
Next podcast will come and we'll display the answers.
Perfect. And you know, if you're listening and you want to contribute, you can tweet at us at Chops Radio. That's your handle.
Correct.
And then mine's Reebstar, HRIBSTR. If you're like, listen, I have to let them know what I think. We'd love to hear it.
So next episode, let's come together.
We'll do a focus group.
All right, sounds good. All right, you got any advice for us?
Yes, dead advice with me, Matt. After going from this deep, we went from such a deep philosophical conversation to such shallow advice. I love it.
That's fine.
So this one, the title is "Debating Over Having Kids is Stalling Us." Let's take a listen. So it says, before my husband and I married, we discussed kids, and that he admitted he never really wanted to have kids. He'd be fine with having a kid with me. But now, like, he puts it off. And it's gotten to a point that she's 34, he's 40, and she's like, it's a limited window. And and he believes that if we have a kid, like, our lives will end, because we hear a lot from our friends, like, that it's, like, all the complaining and all the work that goes into having a kid. What can I do with my husband? And so Carolyn, and I love a nice Carolyn hacks, because Carolyn is not going to deal with your bullshit. Carolyn does not have the time to sugarcoat. Carolyn is here with the blade of reason. And she goes, you need to demand that he either honors the promise, and because he made that promise to you that, yes, we would have a kid, and if he goes back, then he lied to you, and that narrows your options. And she also said, and I agree with this, she says, you said your window is somewhat limited. It's not limited. It's running out. And I agree. I mean, pregnancy is difficult no matter how old you are, but it's common fact. And, I'm not a doctor, but, like, she's 34. I mean, in 10 years, it's going to be very hard, if not maybe over. Like, if she wants to have a baby, like a biological birth.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can always adopt and foster, and you can always be a mother and father or any kind of parental figure.
Correct.
And so she's like, so you need to get on it.
What a wimp, dude. That guy. Why would you make a promise like that and then bail on it? You're just a piece of trash at that point, honestly. Because that's a big thing.
I just feel like it's
a big thing.
It's such a selfish move to be like, yeah, I totally agree, or like, I promise, like, and then you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing, and it's like, so you clearly, it's weird because, he's going to be like, well, I loved you and I loved you so much that I didn't want to lose you. But then I also didn't love you enough to respect the promise that I kept.
He's just a piece of trash. If he can't keep it, because that's a big. If it was a smaller promise, like, I don't know, we'll move to Paris or something, whatever, like that. It doesn't seem small.
Paul's like, oh shoot. No, I know what you mean. There's like levels of.
It's
promises.
like, yeah, it's like, well, that's annoying, whatever. But it's like, kids is a huge thing.
But we know plenty of people who relationships have ended because. One person wants kids, one person doesn't.
And rightfully so. You need to be the person.
I agree. Because you will resent the other person.
I never have issues with someone who leaves someone's kids and said we couldn't grandkids. It's a shame. That is a fundamental thing.
It sucks. It's not like, oh, goody, but it needs to happen.
It's a fundamental thing.
Absolutely.
That and money are two huge fundamental things to
but if you're like, okay, well, I guess we can have one, I'm not really into it, but like, because I know you want that, and you're balking. It's like,
just be upfront. Just be upfront. Be like, I don't know. I just don't.
So what would you do if you're in her position? Like, would you'd confront him, I feel like, at this point. But if he says, okay, I lied, would you just be like, okay,
divorce him.
Divorce?
Yeah, that'd be it. Or
would you, I don't know, would you try and salvage that?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not because yes, I know she can still adopt and have kids that way too.
Yeah.
It all depends on what's a lot of other factors, monetary factors and things like that. But I mean, and
she says that they're financially okay. I forgot to mention that.
Then like say goodbye.
She's like, it's it's not like we're unable to financially support a kid. She's like, he hears the stories and it's like, well. But that's the thing. Everyone complains.
Well, I should say, you got to get some serious therapy.
Human nature is complaining. Like, I'll be the first to admit, I'm guilty of complaining. We all complain, and it's easy. I can see when a parent, your kid's kind of like your primary responsibility,
right?
In a way,
right?
So yeah, of course you're gonna complain about your main responsibility, like, oh, Sandy didn't do the dishes, or like, Joey threw up all over the kitchen floor, and it's a silk floor, and it's I don't know.
Silk floor.
You know what I mean? Like
bamboo.
Not on the bamboo. Jesus. So I get why these parents are complaining to them, like, oh yeah, my kid is doing this, but
kids are brats. Kids are annoying as hell. But I mean, we gotta have them.
It's like, well, we can't have robots.
And you know what? That's 5% of having a kid. The annoying part of having a kid.
I agree.
My wife is annoying. She can be annoying. Everyone's annoying. I'm annoying.
Katie's listening to this right now in the car, like, what? What did he say about me?
Well, everybody's annoying. You're annoying. I'm annoying.
Agree. We all complain about everything. So it's like, you can't let the complaints about the kids be like, oh my gosh, listen what they say. I feel like you're going to enjoy this next one. This is from my favorite website, askamanager.org, where I get all my professional tips. So the topic is, I don't want to fist bump my coworker multiple times a day. So she says, Fergus is my peer. We have the same title. We work in the same department, and we're very mobile. We move around the office a lot. My issue is that Fergus, a couple times a day or so, will come over and then offer a fist bump or a high five during his interactions. He does with everyone. There's no rhyme or reason. And she's like, I don't want to be a stick in the mud, but I don't want to have any physical contact with my coworkers beyond the occasional necessary handshake, because social conventions make me feel obligated to return the gesture, but like I'm just not a fan of doing it, and I don't want to sound like a complete jerk, but how do I get out of this? And of course, my girl, Ask a Manager, she knows what she's talking about. She said, like, listen, you can opt out, just be honest. Be like, I'm not really a fist bumper, or I'm not a big high fiver. But then you follow up with something that, like, brings it kind of positive. Like, like, I'm not a high thumper, but like, oh, I'm out to lunch, have a good lunch. Or like, I'm not a fist bumper, but I'm excited that we got this project done, or that, like, this is settled, that kind of thing. And she said it's a great way to approach unwanted hugs, too. But
Unwanted Hugs, that's a great band.
Unwanted Hugs with their first single, like, fist bump. And she said, and I think that's a smart. It's a good idea, because like when you run into people and they're like awkward about it, and you feel awkward, and then it's just awkward.
Yeah.
Like, and I totally respect people's boundaries of like, I don't want a fist bump, I don't want a hug. Whereas like I'm the opposite. I'm very physical. I'm like, oh mamma mia, come in for a spicy hug. That's just me. But I get that's not everyone. But it is awkward when someone's like, oh, do not.
It's also really horrible and awkward to be like, yo, cannot do this.
Yeah. So, like, I love the idea of, like, turning it into, like, oh, I'm not a fan of a hug, but yes, I'm so excited too. Like, it brings it back.
This whole thing's just awkward. It's uncomfortable. I don't know what I would do.
But if you were working with someone who fist bumped you a couple times a day,
I'd probably just go with it. Honestly.
I don't think I would be that concerned. But I could get
that's
why.
Us. That's us, too.
Yeah. But I could get why. I mean, like, what's your equivalent of a fist bump in the office?
What do you mean?
Like, what's your work tick? Like, what's something that a coworker would do a couple times a day that's, like,
that
small?
I don't like?
Yeah.
Let me try to think here.
I know, this is a tough one.
I don't like small talk.
Like, how's the weather, Paul?
Like, if you don't... One of the things that bugged me the most is, and with my last job, you'll understand. You were in that position, you understand.
Mm-hmm.
When people of a sales department will come and just sit next to you and watch what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that happen?
I don't like hovering.
Hovering. I'll say that. Hovering is one of the worst.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I'm guilty of that, and I try and be aware because, like, I'm always running around.
If I have to wait for someone, like, say someone's on the phone, I leave. I go to a different room.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'll bop back. I try to do it sparingly. But, like, I'll go to the kitchen or go down to an office or whatever. Because I know hovering's the worst.
Oh, my gosh. So then you just be like, please don't hover, but I'm so excited we got this job done. Yay.
Get out of my face.
Now, are you ready for this one? This one's juicy. This is a Dear Abby. And you know how I feel about Abby. Abby's a little hit and miss. Because sometimes...
Yeah.
Remember the one? What was the one that Abby... Like, I don't know what it was. But basically, someone was like, Abby, my kid's doing crack. And Abby was like, well, like, what kind of crack? Like, it was...
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that, but, like, it was like...
It was, like, very dismissive. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Abby? Like, what? Okay, so this is the topic. He wants to be, quote, just friends, but asks for kisses and books us a hotel room. What gives? I know, right? 3 months ago, I went on 3 dates with Kevin. Kevin sent me a text saying he didn't feel I could offer him the relationship that he was looking for, but Kevin wants to remain friends because he has, quote, fun with me. I agreed, and we've gotten together many times and communicate often. I'm not physically attracted to Kevin, but I sense he's attracted to me, and it makes me uncomfortable. Since Kevin agreed to be friends, he's invited me over for movie and cuddle night, put his arm around me, asked to kiss me, and booked a hotel room with only one bed and no sofa. It's like I'm his placeholder until he finds a real girlfriend and he wants to spend time with me out of boredom and loneliness. I don't know how to break things off nicely. And she signed her name Not Interested in the West, which sounds like a really bad, like, romance novel.
What's the West?
Like, Not Interested in the West. Like, she's probably on the West Coast, but, like, Not Interested in the West.
Oh, okay.
By Danielle Steele. Are you ready for Abby's
This
response?
is a mess. This is a mess.
Well, here's just... Like,
no. Before you get, I want to hear the response first.
Okay,
before.
I just love how, like, some people, like, write back these long things. Abby just got to the point on this one. Abby was like, "I'm a big pen." I got to the point. Abby, I think you have Kevin pegged correctly, and here's how to distance yourself, quote, nicely. Tell him you like him very much, but as a platonic friend only, and explain that kissing, cuddling, and sharing the bed are things you do with a boyfriend, and it's time for both of you to move on, and then move on.
But why would he do that without making it...
Are you ready for what? Here's what I'm reading between the lines.
I don't understand.
I'm reading between the lines right now. Kevin wants a friends with benefits situation. And she's like, not into Kevin.
But that's not really a friends with benefits situation.
Cuddling on the couch for movie night and places.
Friends with benefits is, at least what I would think, is sex only.
Well, cuddling in movies and stuff.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because you're being friendly.
A friends with benefit is one of those people I believe you just text. Just for a...
Well,
Right?
to me, there's layers to it. It can be as easy
I've
as...
never had one, so I don't
That's
really
more of a
know.
booty call. A booty call is like 2 a.m., like, what you doing? Like, a friends with benefits...
Is there a difference between a friends with benefits and a booty call?
Yeah, a booty call you don't respect. I would say, right? You don't respect the booty call, and you don't respect yourself for reaching out to booty call, but it's like, you're desperate.
Do you have anybody on your phone that you have for the booty call?
No.
You're lying. You looked away when you said that.
Well, I itched my shoulder.
You're like, no, I don't.
Well, here's my thing. I love consistency. So, like, the idea of just, like, someone who I wouldn't use consistently goes against kind of, like, my nature.
Okay.
Like, I love building up long and good friendships. I love, consistent work and projects and, like, evolution. So, like, this idea of, like, once in a while hitting up someone, like, that's not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting, from this letter from Not Interested in the West... Kevin wants a friends with benefits, and she doesn't. And it's as easy as being like, sorry, I don't want that. I just want a boyfriend. And walk away. Don't be friends with him. Do you not have friends? Like, is this the only friend in the West? Like, why does she care that much? If she's not...
so weird.
If you're not interested in anything he has to offer, move on.
I just feel like that's not a friends with benefit. I don't know what it is.
It's a booty. Well, he's trying to make it a friends with benefits because he's like, oh, come over, watch a movie, and then, like, we'll cuddle.
But if he's doing this all the time, I don't know. I'm lost.
That's the thing. I feel like it's consistent.
Maybe he's just afraid of the commitment.
Well, he says, what did he say? He said, he didn't feel I could offer him the relationship he's looking for. Which is like code word for like, I like you, but I don't like you enough to be in a relationship with you. I mean, am I wrong?
I think he just doesn't want to commit.
Maybe. Well, that's the advice for today. Any closing thoughts on our reunion special? Not reunion.
No, let us know what you think about what we said earlier.
Yeah, if you, it's the meteor. If
it was the Earth was ending in 10 years and you knew about, what would you do?
What would you do?
And what would you think you would do? Two-part thing. What would you do and what do you think the Earth would do?
Because we all know, like, when you're in, like, ethics class, and, like, would you steal the bread for your dying family? And we're all like, absolutely. But then, like, in reality, half of us would be like, I can't do it. I can't steal the bread.
Chops Radio for me and...
Reebstar, HRIBSTAR.
And Twitter. Let us know what you think and we'll see you next time.
Till then, peace out.